Hi everyone and welcome to Club 3 episode 10 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. Before we get going, in the description below you'll see a link, and the link is to a guy called the Custard Profits YouTube channel. And the reason it's there is that I want you to do me a favour. Every week he creates a new show called the FM Creators Showcase, where he spotlights other people's channels and try and helps them to get some more subscribers and viewers, etc., and just shares that around the FM community. He's incredibly generous with how he spotlights other people's work. So this week I'm one of the guests on the FM Creator Showcase, so I thought I'd encourage you to go over, check that out, and whilst you're there, if you could do me a really solid favour and just show the Custard Prophet some love, because he is incredibly giving in terms of what he does for the FM community via Twitter and in his YouTube channel. So go check out the show, go check out the other episodes in the show if you can, and show him some love whilst you're there, because it is brilliant what he does. So that's the Custard Prophet and the show FM Creator Showcase. Go do that for me. We are at Derby County starting a brand new season in Rolling in the Isles, and to say the summer transfer window has been hard is a little bit of an understatement. So we'll get into that in a second, but what I want to say is that this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because we've got a lot to go through, and we're also going to play a game as well. So if you're concerned by the length of it, don't be. It's a special because we're introducing the new season. They won't all be this length. But for today, we're going to be looking at all the transfer dealings. We're going to be checking out the new look side, and then we're going to be playing Leeds United, a difficult first game in this season's championship. So let's go and check out the transfer window. So immediately there's quite a lot to take in here, but the first thing we'll talk about is Adam Daniels. Adam Daniels was the absolute star of our show last season, was amazing for us in getting us higher up the division once we went past that January transfer window. He was a big impact on that. Played out wide left for us. He's more natural on the wide right potentially, but yeah, did a really good job for us. The problem is that Newcastle bid 18.25 million and the board didn't want to turn that sort of money down, and so they sold him from underneath me, and you can see he's now worth 25 million having been bought by Newcastle. I would not have done this deal for 18 million myself. I desperately wanted to keep him because I thought we could continue to build a side round him in the championship. But as I say, the board had other ideas. 21 years old, English talent, but he's now at Newcastle United, having been bought from us for 18.25 million. It set a chain of events going. Brennan Kemp also was completely unsettled. I don't think it was by West Brom. I think it was by a foreign club who came in looking to buy him. And I was not happy about losing him either, and tried as much as I could to keep hold of him. But as the summer went on, he became more and more problematic and became more and more vocal and was dragging more of the squad with him in his vocal criticisms of not being able to leave the club. In the end, West Brom started sniffing about, and at the end of the day, I wanted a settled, happy side that I could try and build from that was a bit more my side rather than what I inherited. So when they bid, they bid 9 million or something, I upped it to say if you can put 11 up front and take it to 13 with a few payments on it, then I'll accept it. And they did that, so I accepted it. The rest of the transfers out are all my choices to change the squad, basically, to get them out and reinvigorate this squad. So in the end, I think we got half a dozen first team squad members out of this club. And what we did was we bought 10 in. We kept 2 of our loan players, and the other 3 left. We'll talk about which ones stayed and went in a second. And you can see that we've brought in another 3 loan players. So let's start at the bottom here. As a direct replacement to Adam Daniels, we brought in on a season-long loan Jeremy Doku. And whilst he's not quite everything that I'd like him to be, I'd like a little bit more physicals, for example. I think for a one-season wonder for us in the Championship, this is a really good buy. Comes in from Man City on loan. And I think he's going to be doing all right for us at the level that we play at. So Jeremy Doku comes in on that left-hand side. Next one up is a youngster from Man United, and he's going to play understudy to Doku on that left-hand side. And this is Alistair Murray, brought him in from Man United. You can see that at the age of 19, he's got a few gaps, but there's some good things in his attributes already in terms of pace and crossing and bravery and off the ball. Teamwork is solid. So there's some really good things, I think, in him, and he'll provide a good understudy down that left wing when need be. We then got Finley Burns, and you can see that the Manchester clubs are really helping us out because basically they stockpile players. And so at the age of 22, he's looking for first team football, and we'll give him a certain amount of that. Finley Burns comes in as a central defensive cover, and I think he's got some all-round good statistics in his attributes. I think that a little bit more mentals wouldn't go astray here and there, but other than that, I think he's very solid. So he comes in as one of our central defensive options. The 3 free transfers here are all youngsters that the club have brought into our unders setup, so we won't go into them, but the rest of them are people that I've bought into the club for money and will stay with us for the next few seasons, or until somebody poaches them away from me at least. So the first of these players is Maxime Colin, and he comes in as a direct replacement for Cotter, who we had on loan from Wolves last season, but we couldn't get him back again. We've had to go older. He's the best player I could find within the setup in terms of what I wanted attribute-wise. So he's 33, but he'll come in and hopefully do a really good job for us this season, help us steady our ship a little bit and maintain where we want to be for then us to move forward again. So Maxime Colin comes in at that right fullback position. The next one up is this guy, Adam Idar, something like that. We'll call him 7 different things probably over the next couple of episodes before we settle on one, but Adam Idar, let's say, 24 years old, comes in as a striking option, which is really positive. We needed a couple of good options, and I think we've now got them. Finishing of 15, composure of 14, pace of 17, good acceleration, good determination, penalty taking. So a really good young striker in here, I think, that's going to help us give a good option for that forward position. The next one up is one of our 2 new goalkeepers, Basunu, Gavin Buchanan, and he's come into the club. I think he's a very good 23-year-old young goalkeeper, British goalkeeper or Irish goalkeeper. So a really positive buy into this club, I think. The 2 goalkeepers that we had were both decent enough, but they were quite aging, and I wanted to bring a little bit of a younger feel to the squad. So Rakovic goes. I'm in the process of getting Johnston out of the club as well. And Gavin Buchanan comes in as one of our first choice options in goalkeeping terms this season. So the next one up is Henrique Doku. And he comes in as a deep-lying playmaker, holding position type player option. And he'll be challenging Benningham to the position this coming season. We'll talk about McNair in a little bit. He's still in the club, but he's got a very long-term injury, unfortunately. So, yeah, Henrique Doku comes into the club. And again, I'm very happy with this guy. 23 years old, Portuguese, but he's got some very good attributes for the type of role that we want him to play. So welcome in Henrique. Next one up is the second of our new goalkeepers, Mikkel Dekker. Dutch, 21 years old. Again, has got some gaps here and there, a little bit in the physicals and the mentals specifically. But all round, I think this is a decent young goalkeeper. And over the next couple of seasons, we'll challenge Bazunu for that particular number 1 position. So I haven't particularly chosen exactly which one it's going to be. At the moment, it will be Bazunu to start off with. But Dekker has got all the chances of taking that position in the long term. So we'll have to see how he gets on. But I think there's some good value in these players. And the final one that we bought in was in the central defensive area. We didn't keep Saner, one of our loan players, and obviously we got rid of Kemp from our side as well. So it meant that we needed central defensive reinforcements, and we found it in Taylor Harwood Bellis. And he comes in for a decent hefty fee, And you can see so far he hasn't quite settled at the club and maintained his discipline in his training just yet. But there's some very good attributes here, and I'm really, really happy to have this guy in. English, 23 years old, and has got some very, very good things to offer us. So he comes in to our central defensive unit, and also being a leader of 18 and having a reasonable work ethic, becomes the club captain as well, because we had very little in our side that was any better than that in terms of leadership quality. And one of the potential leaders of our side is unsettled. And if we go and have a look, it's Lloyd Kelly. If we go into he's only got a leadership of 11, but he was one of the club captains last season. And I've taken it away from him because he's unhappy, because he's unsettled by transfer rumours. The transfer window isn't closed, and Kelly may still go, depending on whether we get anybody come in for him with a reasonable offer, because I do not want unhappy players in this squad if I can help it. So there's something still that we need to sort out. You can see that we've got a couple of injuries, unfortunately. Decker, one of the goalkeepers, being out for 2 to 9 days, a week or so, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. Bazunu comes in and plays today. McNair is the really unfortunate one. In closed season, in the transfer window section of the game, he picked up a huge blow. He's currently receiving treatment for a damaged cruciate ligament and will be out from 4 to 6 months. And I don't know how much of a big plan he was going to have for us this season anyway. I think we're improving as a side, but he's a brilliant all-rounder and will come back into the frame once he's fit and healthy. But I think we've done enough not to be worried about that too much whilst he's out. And the last couple of injuries, we've got Doku comes into the club and has picked up a very minor knock for a couple of days. Unfortunately, misses the first game, but that should be all he misses. And then John Clark, the other main striking option that we have from last season, is around, but he's picked up a hamstring injury. He's only out for 3 to 7 days. So again, it's a minor knock, but it's just frustrating to have that at the very beginning of the season. But the great thing is we now have Ida to come in to the club, into the starting 11, and I think he's a very good option as a decent striking option. And we've still got Tyler Walker who can back him up as well. So 3 reasonably good striking options, I think, for this level of competition. I think we've got a much better balance in our side, which is really positive, and I think we've still got some quality there. So if we go and have a look at the competitions page for the Sky Bet Championship and go and have a look at the season preview, it doesn't make for brilliant reading, to be honest. The suggestion is that we're going to finish in about 9th, and that's only recently gone up from 10th, where we've been sitting most of the summer whilst we rejigged our side a little bit. 9th isn't much better than where we ultimately finished this last season. I can see why they're saying it. But to be honest, I still hope that we'll push for those playoff places. And that's what I'm challenging the players with this season, to go out there and try and get a playoff place. But so far, the prediction in the media specifically has been that we'll finish in about 9th, which is a little bit disappointing. You see, Doku is in the team of the Dream Team 11, which is really encouraging. The other top player that we've got in the key players list is Roberto, who is still on loan. If we go back to the tactics page, you can see that the 2 that we kept from last season in terms of our loan players was Claudio Roberto, who was so key in that central midfield area, and also the youngster Berkeley. We kept him in on loan and hopefully continue his development as a central defensive youngster. So we kept him as well, which is great. Kang In and Saner and Cotter all returned to their clubs, either not wanting to return to us or we didn't decide to keep them. Saner and Kang In just didn't quite do as much as I wanted them to, so they left the club. So that's the current setup. The team shape was very successful, and formation and structure of tactic was very successful at the back end of last season. So we haven't changed that. We're staying in the asymmetric formation, playing a custom wing in a positive way. In terms of possession, this is what we're using. You can have a look through that at your leisure. In transition, this is what we've currently got. None of this, again, is set in stone. We'll always reshape it if and when we need to. And finally, out of possession, this is the setup that we've got. So that's our custom wing play. I'm hoping for very good things this season. As I say, a playoff place would be what I'm aiming for, but you know, who knows? This is a challenging league, the Championship, so we'll see how we get on. Today is a very, very hard start, though, against Leeds United, one of the top sides in this division. So the team, as much as I can make it because of a couple of injuries that we've got, is going to be Bazunu in goal, Colin at right back, Kelly at left back, Harwood, Bellis and Story in central defence, with Benningham, Roberto and Crowley in central midfield, with McCowan on the right, Murray on the left and Ida up top, with a bench of Burns, Cooper, Doku, Sibley, Murphy, Brown and Walker. So let's get into the first game of the season and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, I've passionately said, show me what you can do. First game of the season, let's start with a good positive performance. We're at home, which helps. Hopefully we'll get a lot of a decent crowd in for the first game, all wanting to see a new look Derby side and see what we can do. But it is going to be challenging against Leeds. So let's see how we get on. Roberto on the ball. Let's see how well he can control that midfield section for us this season as we move forward. Good young talent that he is. McCowan on the right crosses in for Ida, and then, oh, what a fabulous strike that is on a debut for the youngster Murray. Our alternate option down that left-hand side. Doku out injured, is going to be challenged by this guy all season long. And in the first game of the season, brand new day, it's Murray that shows himself first off. And what a fabulous volley that is, right into that far top corner. And fabulous start after just a few seconds of the match. First attack, and we really lay it down at Leeds' doorstep and say, sort this lot out if you can. And they'll come back at us and try, I have no doubt. But what a positive start that is. It's Leeds' opportunity to build up an attack for themselves. They go centrally, but they lose out to McCowan, who drops in and wins that ball. Back to Roberto again, our creative force in that central midfield. Out to Murray, runs past his defender, gets a chance to put a cross in, but it's blocked, and Leeds will get a chance to counter-attack on us. Unfortunate there on the blocked cross, but again they lose out, and it's a wayward ball, and it's Howard Bellis this time that comes in. Again we use that left side, and Murray gets the cross in, and McCowan, the other wide player, sorry I'm too excitable about such an early start being so good, but McCowan, our right-sided player, cuts in off that wing just as Murray is cutting that ball across, which is brilliant. You can see the run of McCowan on that far side, coming in unmarked completely, and a lovely header above the goalkeeper, and he makes it 2-0 after 5 minutes. And are we going to be a real force to be reckoned with in this league this year? I hope so. I don't know so. We're not going to get carried away by one result, but so far it's going very, very well. And there was a chance for Ida then as well, and he didn't quite manage it, but the cross on the corner kick comes in. Ida was underneath it, but it goes out for a throw-in, and the game settles down a little bit after such a frantic start. Murray with the corner kick, and we lose out, but Roberto's going to pick up the loose ball and take his time wide right out on the wide right touchline. Takes his time, far post to far side of the penalty box to Murray. Maintains possession. McCowan on the ball, and it's a little bit of a wayward shot over the top of the bar. And they rest easy on that particular occasion. But look at these match stats. 6 shots for us, 5 on target, none for Leeds at all. We are really penning them in. Possession stats are brilliant as well for the style of game that we've got. But look at those chances created. Such a fabulous start to this season. We cannot get carried away at all. First day, Leeds will come back better in the second half of the season, possibly. We don't know what their transfer window is looking like so far. The transfer window, of course, is still open, so lots of teams can still do business. But what an absolutely fabulous start. Tell the boys if they did well and their efforts were excellent. We're going to go with the assistant for that, boost their confidence, and we're going to put them straight back out again. No need to change a thing. I don't need to shout anything at them. I will just let them go out and play their natural game for now, and just see if we can boost some confidence and morale in this good crop of new players that we've managed to assemble for Derby County this year. A little bit of a quiet second half, but that's okay. I'm absolutely fine with that. We've done all the work we needed to do in that first half. So Lloyd Kelly, our unhappy player, is complacent. So we're going to get that out of the side and bring in the new fullback, Gavin Cooper. A good young prospect, Gavin Cooper. So we'll bring him in for a chance. Crowley not doing so brilliantly in that attacking midfield role. So Sibley comes in. And up top, Ida comes out and we'll put Walker back in. Got a reasonable amount of goals for us last season, Walker. Helped us out a lot. So we'll give him a chance to see if he can do it. We've picked up a knock, unfortunately, immediately having made the subs. And it's Murray with a knock. Hopefully he'll see out this game and not be too bad. And we can get Doku back in. And then, we'll be okay on that wide left-hand side. But at this moment, it's Leeds. But what a great interception that was by Harwood Bellis. And we get it forward to Murray on the edge of the box. He has a shot and the goalkeeper is forced to put it over the top of the bar. But another good sweeping move down that left-hand side. Cross comes in from the corner, nobody underneath it, and Leeds come away with it. But we're doing so well so far in all of our interceptions and our defensive work, as well as our offensive work, where we put them to the sword early. Cross comes in. This occasion, it goes wide of the goal and didn't trouble the goalkeeper, so we obviously put them under enough pressure. And again, we cope very well defensively. Murray on the ball, loses it, but we regain it from good work from Cooper. Some very good performances from this new crop of players. And Sibley on the shot from the edge of the penalty box. And the goalkeeper again tips it round that post. And we put them under pressure all the way through this game. From the very first minute right the way through to the very last minute. They've got one last chance themselves in the rain in Derby to see if they can get something from this game as a compensation kind of goal. It's not the word I was looking for, but there we go. But Murray comes away with it, runs pretty much half the length of the pitch and has a bit of a pot shot that again doesn't quite go on target, and Leeds sigh a bit of a relief there, I think. But is that going to end the game? We've got about 30 seconds left. Again, we win it in our defensive unit. Really solid. Don't play about with it too much though. Bazunu gets it nicely forward and Walker uses the strength of his body to shield that ball. Gets it into midfield, over the top again, doesn't quite make it. Murray's going to pick up the loose ball again though. Constant pressure, constant pushing them, which is fabulous to see. But they work it very nicely to get it out of their danger zone at that point. And we miss the interception. But again, it's Benningham on that occasion as the defensive midfield player drops in and takes care of that. And what an absolutely fantastic result, an early performance that is. Passionately, I'm very pleased with that performance and that result. It was utterly brilliant against a really tricky Leeds United side. That's going to do our confidence the world of good, which is absolutely fabulous to see. Quality of finishing the difference. They're disappointed by that. Fine. What was the injury? 4 to 10 days. Okay, it could be worse, so we'll take it for now. It's unfortunate that we picked up a knock, but just one of those things. But along with Doku, we do have, where is he gone? We do have, Archie Brown is also a left-sided player that can come in and fulfill that role for us on the occasion where those other two are not fit. So we've got options down that left-hand side. So it's no major concern at this point to have them missing. Look at this run of friendly games that we had. It was extraordinary. No goals conceded. And half the time this was an incomplete team that we hadn't put together yet. So we're doing fantastically well so far this season. Long may it continue. We're going to come back and we're going to play the late August game against Preston, having played in the first round of the League Cup and a few more championship games. So we'll see where we sit. And then in the following episode, we'll be into September and we'll be able to completely finalise all of those transfer window dealings. But next up, Preston. First up was Leeds. They've been seen off with no major problems at all, very nicely. I hope you're going to enjoy this season with me as we hopefully improve this Derby County side. Brilliant start, but there's so much more to come. So let's not get carried away, but let's be focused on what we can do. And hopefully that will get us into these playoff places. Thanks very much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the series. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that like button if you haven't already. Really helps me on the individual videos if you do that. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.